Hi, my name is Vanessa Griffith. Welcome to my presentation on a library administrator. I'm currently working in a school media center, so naturally I wanted to speak to another school library media specialist. Hopefully my report will give you some insight into what it takes to manage and lead in a school media center today. I'll begin this presentation by introducing my subject and telling you a little bit about her career and her school. I will explain many of her tasks, both inside and outside the Media Center, as well as explain her ideas on leadership and management. I'll give some time to discussing opportunities for improvement as she sees them in her Media Center, and I'll also compare and contrast our readings to my Media Administrator. Finally, I'll wrap up with conclusions and recommendations for this media specialist. The school media specialist I chose to interview currently works in a Title I school serving approximately 350 students and 20 teachers in grades 3 through 5. She's a graduate of UNCG and has her National Board certification. She's the winner of numerous grants, including 2 LSTA grants. She really is a leader in our county and someone we all go to when we have questions or seek advice. Before conducting this interview, I reviewed the discussion board, looking at different questions that others were thinking of asking their administrators. I looked at her website, and I also spoke with my media supervisor. I formulated the questions I'd like to ask her, and I emailed them to her in advance so she would have some idea of what we would be discussing, and that seemed to work well. Most media specialists in our district are given a wide range of responsibilities, both inside and outside the media center. This media specialist is no exception. This year, she's working on a fixed schedule where she has an A and B week structure. During A weeks, she sees all 12 classes for checkout purposes for 20 minutes. And during B week, she teaches an information literacy lesson to those same classes for 40 minutes. She also maintains open checkout hours each day from 10:30 until 2:30. She compiles various reports to our county office on a regular basis and chairs an AR committee and a media committee. Outside the media center, this media specialist is also the school system operator. The system operator is responsible for inventorying all new school equipment, imaging new computers, installing software and printer drivers. She troubleshoots all equipment within the school when problems arise, and she completes work orders so that she can communicate with a technician who visits maybe once a week. She's also responsible for completing numerous local and state reports throughout the year on this equipment. She has compiled yearbooks in the past for students, and she serves as the school's only webmaster. She also gets tasks such as forming the school spelling bee and host parent nights occasionally. When discussing the 1/3 rule, this media specialist feels that she spends approximately 40% of her time with external customers each day, which are her students. She does this with teaching and checkout duties. Around 30% of her day is spent serving her internal customers, the school staff. Because so much technology is being used within her school, she mostly serves these customers by preparing new equipment, answering tech questions, installing software, and troubleshooting for them when necessary. She does prepare resources for teachers when they ask her to do so, but the majority of her time with these teachers is spent on equipment. The remaining 30% of her day is spent on business operations. She attends meetings within the school and county as well as completes online forms. Other tasks include lesson planning, updating the website, running AR reports, book orders, and preparing materials for her own classes. Some time each quarter is spent on goal setting and reflecting on the students' progress. When our discussion moved towards leadership and management, she felt that leadership is when someone is able to bring a group forward towards a specific goal and they are able to see some success. She believes management refers to using resources effectively to meet daily needs. This media specialist feels that there are many areas for improvement this year in her media center. She really is unhappy that her curriculum is not being taught in a collaborative setting. Because she's on a fixed schedule, she's not able to plan with each grade level the way that she knows is best for her students. She hopes that next year she will be able to return to a flex schedule. Partly, this year's change was due to her time out on maternity leave. So she hopes that she can really advocate for her media center over the summer and change her administrator's mind so that she can go back to teaching students the way she feels is best. She has advice for many new school media specialists in our county. She often teaches a workshop for those entering the field, and she always tells school media specialists to advocate for their media center, be at school during the summer when plans are being made, show portfolios of your work to your principals so that they know how important it is that you have access to planning with teachers and a schedule that allows for flexibility so that collaborative units can be pursued in the media center. She also says that we cannot wait for opportunities to come to us. There are so many grants out there, and although we may not get every grant we apply for, we will get better at grant writing the more we pursue it. And so that needs to be a focus because budgets are so tight and there are so many needs in our schools. I know for certain that this media specialist has raving fans, as many of my middle school students still speak about their beloved elementary school librarian. She's extremely technically competent, and her technician and teachers often comment on her school system operator skills. However, she did speak about the lack of interest many teachers have in planning with her. Her fourth grade teachers are raving fans, she says, but there is a true lack of interest in the media center in the third and fifth grades. Instead of using this media specialist as an expert in information literacy and as a collaborator, these teachers really just want a babysitter right now for their classes. Her vision and their wants do not match, and I believe it is up to the administrator in this case to change the tone in the school. She's a reflective teacher and constantly adjusts to meet demands and improve in her services. During county workshops, she often participates or presents in sharing new ideas, demonstrating that she really does give that extra percent. I do not believe, though, that she would answer yes to all 12 questions from First Break All the Rules. Although she has a new library with a smart board, numerous computers, and an updated collection, she feels she cannot do her best each day because she is not planning lessons and collaborating in a way that is truly beneficial to her students. She does have a media supervisor who consistently recognizes her work and encourages her development, but she seems hurt by her fellow teachers who swayed the administrator to move her to a fixed schedule. She does seem to have a high level of emotional intelligence as she has become a leader among her media specialist peers. Self-awareness is apparent as she is able to speak to her strengths as a former classroom teacher and collaborator. She is confident in her abilities in the media center and shares her ideas regularly with colleagues. She seems to manage herself effectively as she is always in control of her emotions. I can't imagine this person raising her voice or having a heated discussion about a work-related issue. She is often data-driven and depends on the facts. When reflecting back on this interview, I realized that what I learned most was how important it is to build relationships with the staff and administration when you work in a school setting. Administrators have such an impact on how effective you can be in a school by how they schedule you in your media center. A flexible schedule can allow you to meet with other teachers, plan collaborative units, and reach students the way we're taught to reach them. If a media specialist is given a fixed schedule, then they are very limited into how they can plan and work with other teachers in their school. I also learned how important it is to seize opportunities outside the school setting to raise money as far as applying for grants, how important networking can be within the county. It can lead to other employment opportunities. It can also help in improving your own services just by seeing what other schools are doing. I think that this media specialist does a great job in balancing all of her duties, which really proves that the 1/3 rule does work if we do make ourselves follow it. Thank you so much for viewing my presentation.